Good day, students. How are you doing? This is me again, Sir Navarro, and welcome to our new tutorial video. In this video, we're going to talk about the sum and product of roots of a quadratic equation. Okay, so particularly, we are going to solve for the sum and product given its equation or the quadratic equation, or sometimes its roots. Okay. So generally, a quadratic equation is written in ax squared, right? Remember, ax squared. I'll write it here. Ax squared plus bx plus c equal to 0, right? Same thing. The general quadratic equation can be written as this form, no? X squared minus a, or more or less, this is alpha plus beta x plus a alpha times beta equal to 0, where our alpha and beta are the roots. Alpha and beta are the roots of the equation, of this particular quadratic equation. So sir, what if this is a fraction? Okay, so it doesn't matter if it's a fraction or not. This is the general one when you are to solve for the equation given the roots. But we will have that to another, we will make another video of that in part 2 of this. So what we are going to do today is to find the sum. Okay, if alpha and beta are the roots of ax squared plus bx plus c equal to 0, then how do we get the roots, or the sum and the product? So by simply, if you're looking for the root, sum of the roots, so we just add the roots. Okay, literally, so we add them. Or if you are given the equation, given this one, standard form, you can just identify the a, b, and c, and then simply use this formula. So what about the product? So the product of the roots is alpha times beta, and you can also use this formula if you are given the standard form, so which is c over a. So basically, if you're given the roots only, you can just choose this one, these two formulas for the sum, alpha plus beta. For the product, alpha times beta. Now, if you're given the quadratic equation in standard form, so you have to use this one. This is for the sum, negative b over a, and then this is for the product, which is c over a. Okay. So let's go to the examples. So first example is you're given the roots. Okay, so for example, the alpha is 2 and beta is negative 3. So to get the product, basically you just have to multiply them. Okay, so alpha times beta, this is 2 times negative 3, basically that's negative 6, right? So this is your sum. Now sum of the product is just you simply add them together, which is 2 minus 3, basically that's negative 1. So your product is negative 6 and your sum is negative 1, right? So that's if you're given the roots. Now what about if you're given the roots, is simply multiplication and addition, right? So it's basic. Now what about if you're given the equation? So let's proceed. So if you're given the equation x squared minus 3x minus 28 and you are equal to 0, and you are asked to get the sum and product, you have to identify first its a, b, and c, okay, of the equation. So a is 1 here, b is negative 3, c is negative 28. So now, to get the sum and the product, you have to use the formula. You cannot just simply add them directly because you don't have the alpha, you don't have the beta, okay? So you can just use the formula, this one, c. For the product, you have c over a. So basically, that's negative 28 over 1, right? So negative 28 over 1, which is also negative 28. Now for the sum, you add them together. We have, if you are given the roots, now if this is the formula, if you are given the quadratic equation, negative b all over a. So your b is negative 3. So do not forget the negative sign. You still have to copy it even if we have a negative b here. So negative 3, negative times the negative 3 all over a, which is 1. So negative times the negative 3 over 1. That's basically positive 3 in the numerator, and then the answer is 3. So your product is negative 28, and your sum is positive 3. So take note the second line, the second line here is the sum. The first is the product. Okay. So next example. So the following examples will be focused on how to get the sum and product given the equation. Since if you're given the roots, basically you just can you may add them directly and multiply them directly, right? So that you can get the sum. But it's different if you are to get the sum and product, you're only given the equation. Now let's proceed to another example. So find the sum and the product of the roots of the equation 2x squared minus 3x minus 6 equal to 0. So again, if the equation is not yet in standard form, so you have to place it in standard form so that you can identify its A, B, and C. Okay. So basically, there are times that you can encounter that one. So you have to set it in standard first so that you can identify its A, B, and C. Alright? So it doesn't matter if A is greater than 1 or A is not equal to 1. A is equal to 1. Okay? So as long as it has values there, that's okay. So now you have A as 2, B is negative 3, and C is negative 6. So basically, you can just get the product by using the formula C over A. So our C is negative 6 and our A is 2. So negative 6 over 2, that's basically negative 3. And our sum, which is negative B all over A. So negative, again, the value of B is negative, so don't forget the negative sign. So negative times the negative 3 all over 2, which is positive 3 over 2 or 1.5, or you can just use this fraction, 3 halves, okay? So your sum is 3 halves, your product is negative 3. Let's proceed to the next example. We have find the sum and product of the roots given the equation 2x squared minus 4x equal to 1. So again, to set it in standard form first. So since it's not yet in standard form, we have to place it in standard form. So 2x squared minus 4x minus 1 equal to 0, right? So now you have the standard form. You may identify its A, B, and C and write it here. So A is 2, B is negative 4, C is negative 1, right? So basically, same thing that will happen. You just have to use the formula, okay? And then C over A for the product. Okay? Don't forget, don't confuse. The product is C over A, and the sum is negative B over A. So always the denominator is A. Okay? So your C is negative 1 and then your A is 2. So basically that's negative 1 over 2 or 1 half. Or negative 1 half, sorry. Negative 1 half. So for the sum, that's negative B all over A, right? So since again our B is negative, so it will be negative times the negative 4 over 2, which is positive 4. This becomes positive 4, right? Or positive 4 over 2, or simply 2, okay? So your sum is 2, your product is negative 1. Your sum of roots is 2, product of roots is negative 1 half. Next example, we have here find the sum and product of the roots given the equation 3x squared minus 2x equal to negative 2. So again, it's not yet in standard form, so we have to write it in standard form for us to clearly get the values of A, B, and C. Now, since all the terms are all on the same side, so this is the standard form now. Okay, so we have A as 3, B is negative 2, C is as negative 2. Okay, so same thing. We get the product. We use the C over A. C is negative 2 and A is 3. So negative 2 over 3, which is negative 2/3. That's actually negative 2/3. Okay. So for the sum, get the sum. We have negative B over A, which is negative 2. Our B is negative 2, right? So negative times the negative 2 over 3. So this is positive na. This becomes positive 2 over 3. And in the product, we have negative 2/3. So your sum is 2/3, your product is negative 2/3. Okay, only the sign matters. Okay. Okay, now let's proceed to the next example. So we have here, find the sum and product of the roots of 2x squared minus 3x minus 6. So there are few of you wants to use this method, no? They don't like to use the C over A for the product, or this one, this formula, no? They don't want to use this one. Okay, this black formulas. Okay, this is for the product, this is for the sum. Others may use or get the roots first and then just add them or multiply them to get the sum and product. Okay, so that's one option also for the many options that you have. So you can simply identify the product or the roots of the equation, and then add them and subtract them to get the sum and product, and yeah, that's it. If you don't want to use the formula, right? So we have here, since this one cannot be factored, no? 12, there's no factor of 12 whose sum is 3, negative 3. So simply use the quadratic formula. Okay, so our A here is 2, B is negative 3, C is negative 6. So negative times the negative 3, and then negative 3 square plus or minus square root of negative 3 square minus 4 AC, or 4 times 2, our A, and our C is negative 6, all over 2 times 2. So if you simplify this becomes positive 3, right? So this is positive na. Plus or minus, negative 3 squared is 9. Then if you multiply this, negative 4 times 2, negative 8, times negative 6, that's positive 48. And then over 4. If you add the radicand, 9 plus 48, we have 57, right? Then if we separate the plus from the minus, diba? We have the plus from the minus. So to get the sum, we add them. 3 plus the square root of 57 over 4. And the other one is 3 minus square root of 57 over 4. Which is, this one will be cancelled. Diba? When you add similar fractions, you just have to combine the numerator and then just copy the denominator. So since the sign of this radical here, is just opposite, so you can just cancel this one. Then the remaining one will be 3 plus 3. So 3 plus 3 is 6 over 4. And then you can simplify it as 3 halves, which is also 1.5. Okay, that's your sum. Okay, and if you want to get the product, so to simply multiply this. When you multiply fractions, you just multiply the numerator to the numerator, denominator to the denominator. So denominator is 16. Now what happened here? So since, if you notice, if you multiply this 2, this is just dots. Okay, remember the dots. Okay, we have a squared minus b squared. They have the same first term, and then they have the same last term. The one that is not the same are the signs in the middle, so plus or minus. So basically, the pattern there is a squared minus b squared. So square of 3, that's 9. Square root of 57, square root will be cancelled, so the remaining one will be 57. So 9 minus 57 over 16. So this is negative 48 over 16. So negative 48 over 16, that's negative 3. Okay, so this is your product. Okay, now, sir, we don't really like this solution. It will be really lengthy, so we want to use the first one that gave us. So for the product, for the sum, we have negative b over a. So negative b over a, which is negative times negative 3 over 2, which is also 3 halves. And then for the sum, for the product, we have c over a, negative 6 over 2, which is negative 3. Okay, so I think this would be all for this video. So for the writing equation, quadratic equation given the sum and the product for the roots, we'll have another video, part of this. Thank you, and thanks for watching.